Hello, my name is Nicole, and I'm here today to read the first chapter of the third book in the Midnight Detective Agency series, Midnight Murders. This is an urban fantasy mystery, and it was published in December 2024. Chapter 1, Bethesda, Maryland. I need 5 extra shot lattes in a row, Damien, I muttered, leaning against the glass frame that held the pastries and other delicious baked goods. Damien, the manager of the fantastical caffeinated dragon, raised his eyebrows in concern. Are you serious? You know I don't mess around with coffee, and since I can't have an IV drip, I need to do it the old-fashioned way. He sighed, ringing me up for 5 lattes with extra shots. Damien knew why I needed so much caffeine, but he didn't want to be the cause of my shakes. I was drained, exhausted, done with socializing in general. The usual when you have family, even dearly beloved ones, in town. And my parents had decided to stay far longer than they promised. How long? 6 weeks. Not 2 weeks as planned, as I meticulously scheduled with Bloodsworth before they arrived. No. Of course not. And before sounding selfish, it wasn't a terrible visit. I absolutely adore my parents. They are a ray of sunshine in my life, but so are my friends. I barely saw Bloodsworth, Damien, Alex, and Nina. And dear goddess, don't get me started on dealing with 2 other beings while also taking care of my parents. After dropping them off at the airport on the first day of March, I took a deep breath and decided to forget about the experience, especially the last week. Drew still was having constant fits about the TV being on for most of the day and the constant cleaning. George was annoyed at Drew for whining so much, and I could barely speak to them to get a hold of the situation on account of my parents wanting to do all the things tourist-like in Washington, D.C. Damien handed me the first latte in a to-go cup with a concerned smile and started on the second one when his wife, Joy, popped in to say hello. I was invited to their outdoor wedding and barely managed it on account of my parents still being in town. Luckily, my parents were understanding and decided to rent a car to drive up to Ocean City, Maryland for a day trip while I went to the wedding. Joy is Nigerian-American and a well-known hairstylist in the Friendship Heights area. She'd already changed her hairstyle to long box braids with silver cuffs since the last time I saw her 5 days ago. The new style was beautiful on her. And the moment I saw the see-through bag that held a specific type of shampoo and conditioner, I had an inkling on why she stopped by. Oh no, please don't tell me my mom forgot her stuff at your shop, I asked. She left them at my station and I didn't realize until now, Joy replied with a warm smile. I thought I'd swing by and either give them to you if you happen to be here or let Damien do one of my errands. Looked like I picked the right time. After 6 weeks of parental fun, you knew just the right place to find me. Joy handed me the bag of extra moisturizing shampoo and conditioner for curly hair. I had wavy red hair, which was already in need of another cut, but my mom had the classic Celtic curls, which were testy yet beautiful. She insisted on visiting Joy every time she was in the Washington, D.C. area, and I couldn't blame her. Her hair always looked amazing after her appointment. There's also a moisturizing mask she bought too, and I added a conditioning spray, Joy said. Thank you so much. I don't know why she always forgets her hair product, which includes all her hair ties left in my bathroom. Joy chuckled. At least those are cheap and easily replaceable. She leaned over the counter to give Damien a kiss on the cheek. He handed me latte 2 and 3 as he blushed. Do you want a travel holder or are you going to drink all your lattes here? He asked. A travel holder would be great, thanks. And I mean, they're not all for me. Bloodsworth is stopping by soon. The first cup's all mine. I inhaled the sweet, sweet smell of freshly made latte and breathed out a sigh of relief. See you next month for your hair appointment, Tessa, Joy said and waved goodbye, heading out the door. I'm going to grab a spot before the annoying businessmen take the best seats. Be right back, I called, Damien working the last 2 lattes. I took a sip of my coffee and spotted Jefferson, the leader of the local werewolf pack, and his second-in-command, Benjamin. I slid into the empty seat between them and shot them a smile. Hey there, long time no see. Are your parents gone yet? Jefferson asked, skipping the small talk. Yes, I just dropped them off at Dulles Airport. Jefferson leaned back in his favorite comfy chair, nodding. I don't know if I could handle 6 weeks with my dad and not go batshit crazy. Would your wolf side turn loose with your dad around? I asked. Werewolves were made. In Jefferson's case, he was turned into a werewolf by his father. I knew it was a very sore subject, so I never brought it up. No, I'm sure we'd snap at each other a lot, he muttered, which I don't like doing, but it sometimes just happens. That's why I left home as soon as possible. It's not good having two dominant wolves under one roof for very long. I think a big reason why Jefferson was so successful as an alpha, or by his preferred word dominant, pack leader was because he took safety so seriously. At least you know your strengths and weaknesses, I replied. He shrugged off my compliment and asked, did you hear that Max finally shacked up with his longtime girlfriend and he's no longer in the pack? I choked on my coffee, a precious trickle of it running down my chin. I wiped it away with the corner of my sleeve and shook my head, flabbergasted. When did that happen? Oh, 2 weeks ago. It was planned out longer than that, though, Benjamin said, holding out a chocolate croissant for Jefferson. He pulled off a piece and popped it in his mouth. After 5 years together, he finally moved on to create his own pack. Took him long enough, Jefferson added with a twitch of a smile. Aw, so cute. Where is her pack? He's actually in Annapolis, living on the water, Jefferson said. Marlene's a bit of a redneck. Her family's rich. He'll be eating crabs, making babies, and riding on fancy jet skis, Benjamin said. He lowered his chin when Jefferson glared daggers at him. Not wanting to touch whatever was going on there, I asked, where are the twins and all your other pack members? Jefferson had a different style to his pack. Benjamin was a cousin. Everyone else was not related to him. His werewolf pack picked up strays, and eventually they either left to form their own pack, moved somewhere else and joined a new one, or stayed. I was surprised that the twins didn't go back to their country since they had no family in the United States, but I could tell they still felt shame in being turned by a violent pair of werewolves while they were vacationing here a few years ago. Jefferson and Benjamin were the ones that saved them, so they stayed. I didn't see them all that much because they were so shy. The twins are on a work trip in California, returning tonight. Paul, a member you barely know, also left because he joined a pack in Montana, Jefferson explained. So you're down to what, 6 members, not including you two? That was the lowest I'd ever seen a pack. Not like I knew everything about werewolves, but it was enough to know it was a bit odd. Jefferson shifted in his seat and placed his cup on the coffee table in front of us. I must have hit a nerve. Yes, it's low. However, both wolves had legitimate cases to leave my pack, so I didn't want to hold them back. Very thoughtful of you, and you could always visit Max if you're near Annapolis. His new family knows he's a real wolf, right? Jefferson and Benjamin both shrugged. Ah, that wasn't good, even though I was sure Marlene would look out for Max, and if needed, Jefferson would take him back. I leaned back in my seat and was immersed in the extra-large pillows that always seemed to stack up on that particular chair. It felt like a warm hug, so it was my favorite chair out of the dozen strewn about the coffee shop. Did you all have a great time frolicking in the full moon last night? I asked, trying to lighten the mood. Perhaps it was wrong to ask in public because Benjamin grimaced. I'm guessing not. We were almost caught by some hunters, Jefferson whispered. I whistled in awe. You're having a shit time, aren't you? Jefferson waved a dismissive hand at me. Don't get me started, Tessa. Thank you so much for joining me in the first chapter read of Midnight Murders, available on Amazon.